Resistance GB.
Who are you?
Resistance GB, we're independent. We've been covering the whole anti-lockdown movement.
Okay.
Yeah. What's brought you out today?
It's a good question. I'm not a normal political protester. I'm actually a Christian minister, and over the whole period of lockdown, I've become increasingly concerned that the people who are suffering most are the weak and the vulnerable.
Yeah.
I think the thing that alerted me was actually an article about how Africa was experiencing COVID, and the deaths were so small and minuscule from COVID, but from other diseases and lack of treatment, they were huge, and that the poor were getting poorer. I found that was happening also in this country, and I just feel there's a need to protest. I can't say I really enjoy protest marches, but I think that normal people have to wake up and see what's happening. I think I would use the argument that the government narrative just does not make sense. I quite like it to make sense. I'd quite like to hear coherent arguments. I'd also like to hear proper discussion and debate of alternative views, but that's not happening, and that makes me ask questions. Why is proper, normal democratic discussion not happening? Why are no politicians questioning the government narrative? So I think I just have to be here.
What do you think that the BBC is refusing to host a debate?
Sorry?
And what do you think that the BBC is refusing to host a debate about what's going on?
I haven't a clue. But I don't really trust the BBC now, so I can't really answer that question.
And what do you think of some of the, rivalries that are going on with the separatists and, the unionists?
You mean insofar as it affects?
Yeah, in the way that it interacts, because, it's a bit different from England.
I'm actually not aware of some of the inner divisions in Scotland between, as far as the anti-lockdown movement is concerned.
Yeah.
I think that this puts some of the political arguments about Scottish independence into perspective and makes us realise this is much more important. I think that governments will never be perfect. I think that there is an element of nationalism that is very idealistic and thinks that if we have freedom from England, then everything's going to be wonderful. I think, to be realistic, we live in a world in which humans are not perfect. As a Christian minister, I believe that we are fallen, we are sinful, and whether we have independent Scotland or not, it's not going to make very much difference.
Because is it more of a global tyranny?
Sorry?
Is it more of a global tyranny? Because you see all of these Western countries that they're all doing the same policies, even the same slogans.
Well, I mean that is where the argument might lead. I don't really want it to lead there. I'm not one who wants to see conspiracies everywhere. But sometimes you get to the position where that almost seems to be the most logical conclusion to make.
And it's sad, isn't it?
It's desperately sad, yeah. I'm not actually taking great pleasure in being here. It's costing me my time. But actually, you meet people, many of them like myself, who are not really political animals. And not all of us are all the way down the rabbit hole. Many of us are just seeing that things don't make sense, and we want people to wake up and say, listen, don't trust what you're being told from the government.
You said you're a Christian minister?
Yeah.
Are there other Christian ministers or members of your faith that know what's going on? Do you find
yes, I think in probably in other ministers and in the churches, I suspect it's much the same as throughout society.
Yeah.
There are some, and there are some people that I really respect who have stood up, and it's not been easy for them. But I think generally, and perhaps it's a perhaps Christians want to be good citizens and have just we trust the government, we want to comply, we believe what we're told.
Is there not an element in Christianity about recognising evil and standing up to it?
Absolutely.
It seems like they've sort of been missed out with a lot of Christians. They should all be seeing this and fighting.
You're feeding information to me, but I do agree with you. And in a sense, that's why I'm here. And I think the lies of the government and the deceitfulness at every level, the greed, the selfishness, we're seeing a complete breakdown in our institutions when people who in another world would be regarded as leaders and moral guardians in society are now being cancelled and traduced as being COVID deniers and anti-vaxxers, and basically they're simply asking logical questions.
Could I ask, what do you think of the way that lockdowns have been implemented in Scotland, and what do you think? Do you think the SNP is essentially in bed with the sort of globalists?
Do I think about what?
Do you think the SNP are in bed with the globalists? Do you think that they are corrupt as well?
But it would seem to be. I really don't know enough about it, either from an SNP perspective or from an understanding of globalism. But it would seem to me that they're all kind of talking the same language.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. Is there anything else you want to say to anyone watching?
Well, how are you going to use this?
Well, we're live streaming at the moment, but we put our stuff. So we're on YouTube, we're on Odyssey, we're also on Telegram as well. So we put our stuff out. We've been recording like this whole thing where we've been doing it for nearly a year now. Yeah. We're up to 40,000 people on YouTube. Over 3,000 on Telegram, 1,500 on Odyssey, I think it's about 2,000 on Instagram, and we're going out there and we're recording what really happens because the mainstream media's just been lying.
Yeah.
We'll probably do like a compilation video of this event and add some interviews and stuff into it, just to give that